Good morning and welcome to our continued series on Tuesday on the issue of anger, anger management, and the journey to the other side of bitterness. Today I'm going to change gears a little bit and we're going to focus on one of the greatest causes or that I feel of anger, and we're going to break it down and talk about some of the problems with it. I'm going to talk about the issues of miscommunication. So I first of all want to rapidly give you the elements of communication, and then we're going to break it down week after week, and we're going to do a series on communication skills and problems on the Tuesday anger management issues. First of all, let's talk about the elements. Whenever I'm communicating with one person to another, there is a sender of the message and a receiver. So two people is involved in the communication. And so I am sending you the message. You are become the receiver. There's some problems that can take place with both the receiver and the sender, and we'll break those down. The elements that take place to send that message are this: the sender of the message has a source in which they want to share, or an idea they want to share. It's floating around in their head. They say, I want to say this, give this message to somebody. But first of all, I have to come up with the idea of what message, what is the source, what is the information I want to share with that other person. Then they put it in words that person can understand. And it doesn't matter if it's verbal communication or if it's written communication or even nonverbal communication. They have to encode it in a message that the receiver could understand. So there is the source, there is the encoding of that message, and then there is the delivery of the message itself. When I shoot an email, I know what I'm going to say. I type it up and try to fix all my grammar, which is terrible, and then I fix my spelling, and then I encode it in words that somebody can understand, and that's the message. And then I speak the message, or in the world of email, I hit the button and send it. The message then goes through a channel. The channel is the distance between the sender and the receiver, and that channel sometimes it can be disturbed through outside things, a jet flying over, hearing problems. There can be several people talking in the room at the same time, so the TV's blaring when I'm trying to talk to you. So there can be problems in the channel that needs to be cleaned up, and we'll share and talk about that. And then the distance between the receiver and the sender and the receiver is the channel. And then when the receiver receives a message, they first of all receive the message either by reading it, listening to it, but they take the message in and look at the message or listen to the message. They receive the message, and then they do something on the other end. They encode it in words that they could put in their head. So somebody encodes it, and then the receiver decodes it. Like the secret decoder ring that you got in the cereal when you were kids. I just dated myself there. So, and then after you decode the message, then to make sure you understood and got the message right, you then give feedback to the original sender of the message. The feedback loops back to the sender of the message, and they go, yeah, that's not what I said. Or that's exactly what I said. Thank you. You received what was in my head and finally got to you. So that's the cycle of communication. In the midst of that communication, any one of those segments can be done very clearly, or can be polluted in many different ways and affect the communication. And as we communicate with others, when it's affected, and when there's poor communication, then quite often people misunderstand the message and they become angry. And through the years or through a series of things, there may be not, you don't speak to each other for a while because you said that. No, that's not what I said. Well, yeah, that's what I heard, but that's not what I said. And sometimes getting back and understanding where some of those communication skills breakdowns can really affect relationships and cause anger. So that's what we're going to cover the next few weeks. We're going to break these down, and I hope you keep coming back to talk about communication and the communication skills breakdown. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and come back next week as we continue the series on anger management with the focus on communication. See you next week.